Fusion Radio.
This is Neo.
This is Nicki Minaj.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Usher.
What's up? This is Beyonce.
Live in digital 24/7 at myfusionradio.com.
Number one station for hip hop and R&B.
One world, one voice.
You're listening to the Global Beatdown with Peter Parker. Music, interviews, and entertainment news. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. on myfusionradio.com.
Fusion Radio. Download the app for Android and iPhone and take us everywhere you go. myfusionradio.com.
Yes, it is Fusion Radio, one world, one voice at myfusionradio.com. We have a special group of folks that are starting a brand new podcast here at Fusion Podcast Studios. Bruh, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new podcast. We're so excited to be here today. I am Deirdre, your host, and
I'm Antoine, your co-host, and bruh, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Well, today will be an introductory episode. This is our very first episode of our podcast, and we will introduce our creators of the podcast. We'll introduce our guests. We'll speak about our mission as well as our purpose. Creators, let's talk about it.
Hey everyone, my name is Chantel Gideon, and I'm one of the creators of the Bro Let's Talk About It podcast. One of the reasons I was really interested in making this men's health podcast is because my husband has the hardest time going to the doctor. I have to make him go, push him, encourage him. So I'm hoping after listening to this podcast, that'll encourage him and motivate him to take charge of his health as a man.
All right.
Bruh, let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Shalonda Brown, and I'm also a creator of the podcast, Bruh, Let's Talk About It. This podcast means a lot to me because bringing awareness to men's health and well-being, we all know that we all talk about women's health, but it's time for us to focus on men's health. So again, I'm so excited for this podcast, and Bruh, let's talk about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Fowler. I am a tax professional by trade, but a business coach at heart, and I teach tax professionals how to start, run, and grow their own tax business. And the reason I'm one of the creators of the podcast as well, and I'm so in tune with this podcast because I have a lot of young guys around me that just feel like they don't need to be worried about their health until they're in their like 50s or 60s or whatever. So this podcast is going to really help them tune in to what they need to be concerned about. Bruh, let's talk about it.
Hi everybody, I'm Sasha Young, and I'm one of the creators of Bruh, Let's Talk About It. I'm so excited to be a part of this Leadership Clayton cohort 2023, the best class.
Best class
For
ever.
all of my other classmates that are watching, we're the best. But I just want to let y'all know that I work for Clayton County. I am been working for Clayton County for 7 years. I love the community, I love the events, and Bruh, let's talk about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Stacy Tolbert. I work with Clayton County Public Schools. I am also a member of the Chamber of Commerce and one of the cohorts of Clayton Leadership 2023. As we said earlier, the best class ever.
Best class ever.
I am also one of the visionaries of this wonderful podcast. One of the reasons why we decided to do this type of podcast for men's health, as we mentioned earlier, there are so many programs that invest in women's health and children's health. We decided that it was time that there is something out here that would invest in men's health. So we decided to bring up subjects that will touch the core that challenge men and deal with some of the issues that men are facing today. With a background in health, I see it all the time. And so this is what we're here for. It's time. Bruh, let's talk about it.
So again, I'm Antoine. I'm one of your co-hosts for this evening, and I'm also the owner of Eggs Up Grill, which is a breakfast, brunch, and lunch restaurant located here in Morrow, Georgia. And this podcast is near and dear to me because as an African-American male, a young African-American male, there have been so many times where men in my life, older men in my life, have had premature deaths, and I really want to rewrite that trajectory and create awareness around going to the doctor and really normalize that experience for other men. And I think this podcast is a good opportunity for us to start having that conversation. Bruh, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And once again, I'm Deirdre, one of your hosts. I'm also a nurse, a wife, a mother, a baker. I have my own small business, Slice of Cake by D. And for me, this was near and dear to my heart as well, especially as being a nurse with a background in emergency medicine. Oftentimes I see our men at disproportionate rates coming in with preventable diseases. So today we're going to dive into that. Our podcast was originated from an assignment that was given to us by Clayton County's Chamber of Commerce. They sponsor a leadership class, which is, again, Leadership Clayton 2023, the best class ever. And we were tasked with giving back to the community. So we decided to do something that will reach multiple people. And what other way to do that than a podcast? We wanted to focus on an area that's not really being touched on, which is men's health. And that's why we're here today. We want to make sure that we inform, inspire, and impact. We want to promote the importance of men's health by strategically increasing the number of men that make health a priority. So, bruh, let's talk about it.
Bruh, let's talk about it. One of the things that's very interesting and one of the things that I think is very important to discuss just before we even start the podcast is how men's health impacts the family dynamic. So men are a part of the family, and oftentimes when a male is not healthy and when a man is not able to take care of their health, that impacts the whole family dynamic. That impacts employment outcomes, that impacts poverty levels, that impacts so many other areas that can really stabilize the family dynamic and cause the family to not be stable when that male is not taking care of their health. So I think that it's very important as we think about family dynamic that we are really thinking about how important men are in that family dynamic.
I agree, Antoine. So let's get into a discussion with our panel of men from the Clayton County community. First, we have Larry. Larry, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Larry Carter. I am an actor, community activist, really been in the community, just making the change I want to see, showing up in places, trying to give, like, what I believe is we all have privilege, so we use our privilege to benefit others, and that's what I try to do.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Next, we have Vernon.
Hey, what's going on? On here on behalf of Minuteman Press, just trying to bring awareness to the youth, just bring awareness to the community, period. You know, just trying to be supportive of everything that's going on, positivity. We're trying to breed positivity.
Excellent. We appreciate that. And then next we have Hector, familiar face. Hector, tell us something about you.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, best class in the house. So shout out to y'all. Really proud of the group here. Well, not my group, but my class of 2023 for putting this together. I think men's health is something that does need attention. They definitely do have a magazine, and being a man, I'm excited that y'all invited me here to talk about it today. I work for Clayton County Public Schools. I'm an elected official in Forest Park, and you know, it's a pleasure being here, and can't wait to dive into these topics to help out our men in our community.
Excellent. Thank you, Hector. And then last but certainly not least, Sam.
How everybody doing? Peace, peace, peace. First, I want to start by thanking everybody for letting me be on this podcast. First time. Appreciate y'all. I'm really just here to give an essential insight, especially coming from my generation, the younger brothers, coming up and learning about health and learning what it's good for, and being able to be surrounded by other folks that know what's going on and give them that outlet to talk about it, and like you said, go to the doctor and learn what's going on with yourself and your body internally. So I'm just here to give up more insight to the younger group, So again, my name is Sam. Shout out to Good Vibes Extract, by the way. That's my business. Thank y'all.
All right. We love that shout out. And thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate having this diverse group of men from different walks of life, because that's what it's about, right? We're trying to get this conversation moving and, again, spread this message of men's health. So, again, thank you all. Today we're going to have a wide variety of topics that we'll discuss. We'll discuss mental health, domestic violence, violence in general, going to the doctor for your annual checkup, as well as your physical health. So to jump right into it, since some of us recently celebrated Father's Day, my question to our panel is, are there any fathers in the house?
Fathers in the house.
All right.
Definitely
all
a
right.
father in the house.
Definitely, Vernon. Tell us about it. How was your Father's Day, and how many children do you have?
Well, I got 5 kids.
Okay.
Father's Day was lit. I mean, the kids, just appreciating me for everything, that I do for them. And it just felt good just being appreciated and just knowing that I'm doing the right thing.
Excellent.
So
good. Keep doing the right thing. Any other fathers in the house?
I'm a daddy.
All right, Hector. Hector's a daddy, a poppy. How was your Father's Day, Hector? And how many children do you have?
People might think I have a lot, but I only have one.
Okay.
She's 16 years old, but she's enough, though, But my Father's Day was not good, though. I was stressed out. I'm getting a specialist from the University of West Georgia, and I had some assignments, too. Mm-hmm. And like a good Hector that I am, I procrastinated to the end. So I spent that night before the Father's Day doing my assignment. But the next day, it was nice. I don't know if y'all deal with teenagers, but my daughter, I feel sometimes just doesn't try at stuff. Like she just doesn't but she put effort into, writing me something and getting me something to eat and just checking in on me. So I appreciated that, and, just love my girls and just being blessed for the little things, waking up. I don't have my father with me anymore, but I always just enjoy, there's nothing like fatherhood. I think that's, my brother here can attest to that. I think you'll never love anything else more than your child. So.
Amen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Hector. And I'm just like you. My father's no longer here, but my husband has stepped up and he has been the father to my children. So again, shouts out to you, fathers. So I did notice that a few of you all didn't raise your hands. You're not father. However, you may have grown up with a father or had a father figure in your life. So Larry, talk to us about how your father or father figure has impacted your life.
Yes, my father has been a very pivotal piece of my story. I think I'm the second, Larry Carter the second.
Okay.
So I'm named after him, his namesake. We have a scheduled time because my schedule gets so busy. So our time is 7:30 a.m. every Monday morning. We talk on his way to work and we just chop it up, what happened the weekend, what's going on, just to stay connected. I think that's like my lifeline,
Excellent. Impactful, definitely. What about you, Sam?
Well, the father figure that I had in my life or journey, if I was to say, taught me a good many things. For one, how to take certain things that we are tackling in everyday life and learn how to transmute it into different energy and adapt to it and move within that motion and positivity.
Excellent. We appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you dads. And it basically attests to what a recent article reported. The CDC reports on fathers' involvement prove that black dads are most involved, which was a Pew Research study, and they are most involved in their role than more American dads. It also stated that black men were more involved with children no matter if they live with them or not. A greater percentage of black fathers, when compared with their counterparts, fed, ate meals with their children daily, bathed, diapered, dressed children daily, played with their children daily, and read with them daily. Just a few more statistics. 58% of moms and dads rank values and morals as important. Discipline, emotional support, income. And 70% of Americans say it's important for that baby bond with mom and dad. So it sounds like you all definitely have that in your lives and are currently doing that. So again, you all are to be commended for that. Take a bow. All of our dads in the house, we appreciate that. So now we're going to take a quick break, and then we will come back and we'll have more discussions.
Let's talk about it.
Bruh, let's
Talk
talk
about
about it.
So I think one of the things that's very interesting, I think that statistic is a statistic that you often don't hear. I think that there's always a narrative that talks about how black fathers are absent from the household, but sometimes black fathers just may show up in a household that's very different. And I think that that's a very interesting point to make, that we may not show up in the household the same way that society may say we should, but I think that that's an interesting statistic, and I'm glad that we're highlighting that on this podcast.
I definitely agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. So that's what our podcast is about. Like, we want to give back. We know we've had many holidays in the month of June, Juneteenth, which is something that we all celebrated internally and have been internally celebrating that for years. But Father's Day is definitely near and dear to our heart.